I got it! I got it! What is going on, YouTube? We are back. We haven't posted a video all weekend. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's my bad. I thought I had enough videos set up for what this game was going out that I can continue to play and not have to worry about videos too often. But we're here, and I'm here to bring you, at least in my opinion, the best Necro build that I've ran personally. This shit is absolutely insane. I'm thinking about changing Blight to Bone Spear, but you know that's besides the point. We're not gonna talk about that right now. But we're gonna go into our points here. Where we put our points at? We're gonna start off with this one right here. Boom, Scythe. Why? Honestly, I don't know. I guess you can go with whatever you want. I just go with this because it does overall damage, like it continues to do damage. And it's a decent skill to get your what is it called, essence on this character back. But you can probably run whichever one you want. I don't really think this move really matters because I barely ever use it. I don't really use it. I just did this to go into the next skill because, I'm gonna be honest, I don't use this often at all. Blight. I think Blight's pretty good because it hits you, it leaves a lot, but then it continues to do damage for like 6 seconds. I think that's just pretty crazy. For what you want to do with this build, I think that works pretty well. Slows the enemy 25%, and then you want the supernatural Blight. So you and your minions deal 15% increased damage to enemies within the Blight. This build doesn't use minions, but it still increases your damage by 15%, so that shit's fire. Then we got this. Your damage has up to a 12% chance to create corpses at the target's location. We want that. We need that. This is going to benefit us when it comes to when you have to fight a boss that's just one boss and there's just nobody else that you can kill around you, so you just no corpses. This will give you all the corpses you need. Blood Mist. I picked 5 points in Blood Mist. I have 9 because of one of my ranks. On my items build it up by 4, but I have 5 points in Blood Mist. Blood Mist is, in my opinion, the main focus on this build. Like, without Blood Mist, I don't think this build would work. Enhanced Blood Mist. You want this. Casting a skill that overpowers reduces cooldown by Blood Mist by 2 seconds. That shit is insane. That shit is actually insane. Like, it might not seem like it much, but that shit works a lot. And then Blood Mist leaves behind a corpse every 1 second. That is insane, because if you do that with one of the armors that we're going to talk about later, that insane. Corpse Explosion. 5. You want this as high as possible because this is your main damage. This is where you're going to do all your damage. Corpse Explosion radius increased by 15%. And Corpse Explosion becomes a darkness skill, and instead of exploding, releases a vial and dealing 4,500 shadow damage over 6 seconds. This is a shadow damage build. That is really why you have this. I mean, I guess you can use this. I don't even know what this is. I haven't personally tried this, but I like the way this one even looks. So that's really why we have that. You come down here and we have this. Consuming a corpse generates 2 essence. That's great. We don't really need to upgrade that. That's just to get us into this one, which with this one you do a 9% increased damage for 6 seconds after consuming a corpse. You are gonna consume corpses consistently all the time with this build, so this is gonna consistently do 9% more damage. Alright, let's move on to the next one. The curse skills. Death Embrace. Close enemies take 6% more damage. You deal and you deal less percent damage, 9% less damage to you. Hold on, guys. I cannot fucking speak. Close enemies take more damage from you and deal 9% less damage to you. That is great, because with this build, you are always in the face of everybody, and you need that. The cursed target area enemies affected are slowed by 40.0% and deal 20.0 less damage for 10 seconds. This is great. This, honestly, I don't know what I would do without this, I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like this the damage that they lose with this is insane. I'm soloing level 75 dungeons by myself. I was at level 52. I soloed the boss to get to world 4 at level 52. We're gonna insert that at the end of this, so stay tuned. Actually, we might put it in the front. You guys might have already watched it. Either way, it's in this damn video. If you haven't watched it, it's at the end. Enhanced. Enemies hit with affected have up to a 10% chance to be stunned for 2 seconds. This hits a lot. I'm not gonna lie, this hits a lot. I don't know, I'll show you guys what I read on my armor, but this hits a lot. Enemies hit while affected with this have up to 15% chance to reduce your cooldowns by 1 second. That is insane because there's so many times where it procs crazy and you just continuously use blood mist and it's insane. So right here, boom. This corpse tendrils. Veins burst out of a corpse, pulling an enemy, stunning them for 3 seconds and dealing 800 damage to them. Does not consume the corpse. This, very good. The enhanced, who are ranged in corpse, are slowed by 50% before being pulled. Enemies damaged by this are vulnerable for 3 seconds. You want to keep it vulnerable. This is insane. This right here. When a corpse is formed from your skills or your minions, fortify for 2% base of your life. This is insane. Insane. Because you are always, when a corpse is formed from your skills, you realize that this gets us corpses. This gets us corpses. So it's like we are consistently being fortified for 2% of our base life, which is insane. It is great. This, we got 3 points out of this. Yeah, I got 3 on this one and 1 here, but I was thinking about maybe doing 1 here and 3 here, but I don't know, we'll see. Reaper's Pursuit. Damaging enemies with darkness skills increases your movement speed by 15% for 3 seconds. You're always doing darkness damage because everything's converted to darkness, so you're always having that 15% movement speed for 3 seconds. When you damage enemies with darkness skills, they take 6% increased shadow damage from you and your minions for 2 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. That is great. You want 3 points in that. Terror. Darkness skills deal 9% bonus damage to enemies who are slowed and 9% bonus damage to enemies who are stunned or immobilized. These bonuses stack and apply to shadow damage dealt by your minions. As you guys been listening, this whole build stuns, immobilizes, and does all this bullshit, so we are doing stupid damage. Crippling Darkness. Darkness skills have up to a 50% chance to stun for 1 second. So more stun. Next one. Standalone. Increased damage reduction by 18%, reduced by 2% for each active minion. We don't use minions, so this could be better if you use minions, but either way, we have 18% damage reduction. Sacrificing both skeleton warriors and skeleton mages increase your sacrifice bonuses by 60%. Insane. Insane, because this one doesn't use minions, so you're sacrificing them. So this, insane. Bone Storm. I don't know why anybody would use anything else, to be honest with you. I feel like Bone Storm is insane. Blood Wave is not bad. Like, I have one of the things that I have probably be better if I ran Blood Wave and not Bone Storm, but I personally prefer Bone Storm. I think it's great. Your damage reduction is increased by 15% when Bloodstorm is active. Bone Storm is active. Why do I keep saying Bloodstorm? Supreme Bone Storm. Your critical chance is increased by 20% with Bone Storm active. You want that. And then for the passives, we got Shadow Blight. Shadow damage affects enemies with Shadow Blight for 2 seconds. You and your minions deal 10% bonus damage to enemies with Shadow Blight. Every 10th time an enemy receives shadow damage from you or your minions, you are affected by a Shadow Blight. They take an additional 22% shadow damage. That's what you want. That's what you need. We could look at the Paragon board. I have just got into. I'm on level 55, like I said. So on this account, I'm on level 55. So we haven't even really got into this Paragon board yet. But we got this one, right? We're gonna replace this one with something else and see if I have it. I don't have it, and I don't remember exactly the name that I'm thinking of. Let me see. I might have it written down. Let me freaking look. I might have it written down. Let me look. Um, exploit. You want exploit because with exploit, I don't have exploit. I don't think I don't have exploit on this one, but you want exploit. See if I can find it. Because exploit, you want exploit because for every 5 dexterity purchase within your range, you deal 1.0% increased damage to vulnerable targets. If you get 25 dexterity, dealing damage to vulnerable enemies increases your damage 1% for 6 seconds up to 10. What I was told was that if this is at 25 dexterity, that you are 100% sure to hit vulnerable, make everybody vulnerable. You're always doing more damage. If that is true, this is insane. I haven't got to try yet, so... And vulnerable enemies take 20% increased damage. That's why you want enemies to be vulnerable. You do a lot more damage. I don't know how true that is, because I haven't personally been able to try it. But if it is, that's insane. Crazy. But for this, you know, I just go up, grab the prime, come up, grab the intelligence because I need the intelligence for at least this thing. I'm grabbing the intelligence for it because I need it for this. Depending on what glyph you use, you don't have to focus on any of the ones that you don't really need. But we're gonna come up and grab all these magic nodes on this side. We're gonna grab this. We're gonna come up. We're gonna come back and we're gonna grab these as well. But for right now, we're just trying to get to this next board. And I personally chose this card in general. Your shadow damage over time affects a 5% chance to deal 50% bonus damage each time they deal damage. This chance is increased by 1%, and bonus damage is increased by 2.5% for each 50 willpower you have. So we have 191 willpower. Obviously, that can be higher, but we're on level 55, so we're not even close to being able to finish this board. This board is a little weird because the legendary is over here, the glyph is all the way the fuck over here. But I personally think that is worth it. And I guess you technically don't have to go for this glyph if you don't want to. But I would say, me personally, I'm probably going to go for it. I just haven't really, I have to look at everything. And then I'll figure it out completely. I'm not 100% positive what I'm going to do with this board yet. So if you guys have a higher level and you guys have an idea, let me know in the comments and we can discuss that. And we're gonna go to my ability. We're gonna go to what my armor looks like. Oh, let's look at the Book of the Dead. Book of the Dead. Skeleton Warriors. Reaper. You want the Reaper. You do 18% increased damage, but you're no longer able to rise skeletons. We're doing shadow damage. We want to do more shadow damage. That's what to fucking do. Come on, baby. Skeleton Mage is cold. You deal 18% increased damage to vulnerable enemies, but you can no longer raise skeleton mages. If that exploit thing is true, that means 100% of the time you are doing 38% more damage to vulnerable enemies, and that is insane, and you want that bad. The other ones, I mean, your maximum instance increased by 18, but you can no longer, like, that's, in my opinion, not really that necessary. Your overpower damage is increased by 47%. If you're using a build that does overpower, that makes sense, but for this build, we're doing Shadow, and it's honestly, any build, vulnerable damage, when you can make everybody vulnerable, is the way to go. So when I get exploit, I will update it in the comments. I will leave a comment and I will update it once I use exploit, and we'll see that. I'll tell you guys if it works any different. So this one's a little different, right? Like the bone one, increase attack speed, but you lose, like, we're not even using our weapon like that much, so this attack speed doesn't really matter. The bone, your maximum life is increased by 12%, but you lose the ability to summon a golem. I chose that because my health is pretty low as level 52, going into fight World Tier 4 with level 70 dungeons and shit like that. So I chose this to give me some more health. But you could choose this. You do 35% increased critical strike damage, but you lose the ability to summon. I think this is better. But for my situation with how low level I am in this high area, I feel like I need more health, or I'm gonna get one tapped all the time. Even though when if y'all see what happens when I fight, like I soloed the Butcher. I don't know why I lost the clip, but I was able to solo the Butcher with this kit, with this build, with everything I have on at the moment. So we're gonna go look at our character. Level 55. This is our stats on this character right now. We're gonna start with the helmet. This is our helmet. We just got to World Tier 4 and we have a bunch of ancestral stuff, but we can't use any of it because we're not level 60 yet and everything's level 60. But this is what we're using. It gives us maximum life, cooldown reduction, total armor, poison resistance. This helmet realistically is ass. I mean, this is just not a good helmet for what this build is. I mean, the cooldown reduction is cool. Poison resistance is ass. I'm gonna have to re-roll that. But in all my armor, I used the ruby. I like to use the ruby, 3.5 maximum life, especially with how low my life is, like my health is. In World Tier 4, I keep all this stuff to maintain it. And I do believe that this build requires a couple items. Let me see if I can find the skills. Like this one right here, right? These boots are ass. These boots are ass. But Blood Mist triggers corpse explosion on surrounding corpses when Blood Mist detonates a corpse. Its cooldown is reduced by 0.4 seconds. This, I feel like, is a must. I feel like without this, you could still do it. But I just feel like this is such a must, man. I feel like that's so good. This boots are just so ass, but I haven't replaced them because I'm waiting to get to level 60 so I can get the ancestral stuff. But this is the exact kit I ran when I beat the guy. When I beat that boss. This weapon right here, I got the unique, so I can show you guys. I got the unique for it, but that shit is ass in comparison to that. So it is not good. Let me see. I'll show you guys real quick. So we got this one, right? But if you look at this one, this is not like the darkness damage is great. The damage to chilled enemies is great. Damage to frozen enemies is great. Cold resistance, ass. But the issue with this is that we don't really use our weapon, right? Like our weapon, we really don't use it. So it's kind of ass that, like, if we were always using our weapon, like if you always use your weapon, this is a great unique to have because you could freeze enemies, you can chill them, you can do extra damage. So on this thing, the unique is your darkness skills chill enemies for 40%, right? So that would mean all darkness skills should do it, but for some reason I feel like when I use it, the only things that freeze are when I use the weapon itself. They don't freeze when I use my darkness skills. I have no idea why. But your darkness skill have up to 100% chance to generate 2 to 5 additional essence against frozen targets. You don't freeze people enough for that lucky hit chance to even count. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I've maybe froze like 2 people. I ran this for a while. I ran this through the entire dungeon of the boss. I ran the unique throughout the entire dungeon, and I was able to clear the whole dungeon with it. But I cannot beat the boss solo until I used the other weapon, until I came back to this weapon. Because this weapon's damage, it just does way more damage. It gives me more DPS, and I was able to do it with this one. The boots, we already talked about the boots. The ring, I mean, my rings, I don't personally think that they're good. Like, this ring is minion life. I don't need that. I'm not using minions. Damage to crowd control enemies is great. 7 essence is okay. Damage to close enemies is great. So this ring is not bad. I just gotta re-roll the maximum minion life. I guess I gotta re-roll that. And then this, everybody gets this from beating the game. Everybody gets this ring. The core skill hits 5 or more enemies. 40% of your resource is refunded. I mean, this is our core skill. It really doesn't ever hit more than 5 enemies at a time in a single hit. So it's like, this doesn't really, I mean, with how you use this build, this would work because you're supposed to go in, blood mist around, it triggers corpse explosion with this, right? So this triggers all the corpse explosion, and then you shoot blight and you continue to spawn corpses. You beat the shit out of them, whatever. And so depending on how your blight hits, it could hit 5 targets at once, and this could be beneficial. I don't personally think so. Like, I'm waiting to get rid of this ring. This is just the best ring I have for this character at the moment with its level. And let's get out the stash. And then this necklace, bonus to skill, 7% bone skill damage is pretty much just for all. And 1 rank of all of those skills. I don't even know if we use any of those skills. I'm not too sure about that. But controlled impaired duration reduction. It sucks to be stunned. So I mean, I don't. This is not really that good, but I like the ability on it. So that's why I really put it on there, because I didn't have anything better than this. Each time the Shadow Blight key passive deals damage to enemies, it increases the next Shadow Blight damage within 10 seconds by 42%, 30 to 60%, stacking up to 5 times. That's great. I feel like that's necessary if you're going to use Shadow Blight. That's really the only reason why I hadn't switched to Bone Spear, was because of this. But I might have to give it a try. And then this, I feel like this is necessary. I feel like if you need any unique, this is the unique that you need. This is necessary. Instead of detonating immediately, Corpse Explosion summons a skeleton that charges randomly and enemies explode. Corpse Explosion damage is increased by 38%. This is a must. Like, you can still run the kit, like the kit still works, but this is a must. It is very useful. Trust me, it is a must. It works fucking great, phenomenal. My rings, since resistance in this game does not fucking work, I use these rings and I put skulls in them to give me more armor. Gives my armor value more up. In this kit, I use the whatever these purple gems are. I forgot the name of them, but they get 7% damage over time because we do so much ticking damage that benefits us. On my pants, I don't think we looked about the pants. Each time that a Bone Storm damages an enemy, gain a barrier equal to 3% of your base life for 10 seconds. I feel like we always have this barrier. I feel like we always have a barrier in general. It's insane. And then, let's see, we'll look more at this place. We got 3 ranks of Blood Mist, which is great for us. Damage reduction while fortified. I think that's good for us. I'm not too sure if we get fortified with this. I'm not 100% positive. I think we do, so I like that, but I have to look into it more. I'm not 100% positive. We get 274 maximum life added and a 4.9% dodge chance. I mean, I think I like the ranks of Blood Mist. That's really the only reason why I use this. And the each time that Bone Storm damages an enemy, you gain a barrier of equal to 3% of your life. Like, that is helpful as fuck. And then the armor, 504 thorns. It's whatever. 48 intelligence is good because when intelligence increases your skill damage by 41.3% because of how much intelligence I have. That's great. That means I'm doing crazy damage. Damaging an elite grants you a barrier exorbitant up to 2,900 damage for 10 seconds. This effect can only happen once for every 30 seconds. This is insane. I'm not gonna lie, this is insane. I don't know why this is so good, but in my opinion, this is fucking great. I use this on my Zork, and I use this on my main character, the Zork. She's like level 70 right now, but dude, this is insane. Shadow damage, obviously we use shadow damage, 41 dexterity. You know, increase your critical strike chance, increase dodge chance. So I mean, it's somewhat beneficial. But yeah, that's about it. I've never done a video like this, so I'm not even sure if I even did it right or whatever. But you should be watching, the next clip should be me fighting the boss, or you already watched it. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, leave a like, comment down below what your favorite part of the video was. And I guess you guys shouldn't comment down what your favorite part of the video is. Comment down if you use this build, or if you have a different build you think I should try. And if you haven't been new, subscribe. 84% of you guys that watch these videos are not subscribed. Let's get that down to about 70. And you guys already know the deal. Peace, love, and some motherfucking chicken grease, baby. Peace.